disordered and chaotic superpositional qubits. It is exactly the very thing that you think it is. They are very ordered, very, very structured fields that align and are around the given disordered and very chaotic particles and field matrices inside entering the given environment. It then so chooses to disorderly go through it in a superpositional can't be understood randomized manner. That is then, of course, chaotically moving, and then therefore collapses into an entropically stable field in direction. Which now makes it so that way it is a superposition of the highest order, because I can just fire him through and I don't even need this silly preposterous, oh my god, look how ordered this is, and, supercomputed, Qbit, stupid, massive amounts of computation that is taking so much effort to cool and order and, have remain stable and all this other stuff that I don't like, that kind of sucks, and I don't want, in any way, really realistically speaking, to burn that amount of fuel and energy to literally calculate something. So there's that. Look at it. Look at it and weep in joy. This is our greatest achievement mankind has ever done. We've never thought to do the opposite, to simply reverse it a little bit and make that into its own superpositional environmental space that then gets turned into calculations. I am making cream cheese and bagels. That is what you are hearing. I am opening up my cream cheese. That's right, my cream cheese is now open. I am opening up the bag. Can you hear it crinkle? Yeah, it's a nice bag. It's a foil type bag. It's like I've foiled the bag, filled with cheese in its tube. No, shut up. What is this? Some stupid double entendre joke, you douchey fuck? No, I would never... perish the thought. I would never do this. Proceeds to continue doing this. Anyways, so how do we do this? Let any matter go through that is haphazardly gone through in a seemingly more heat-based arrangement that then goes through into a more entropically stable cooled-based arrangement. And so in terms of gaining its cooling, it then, of course, becomes a stabilized, dropped out of its superpositional state that then makes it so that way it then, of course, has done calculations. As it can work with quantum foam, and as it can work with many different heat-based states, it doesn't need, in any aspect or way, the pressure or ordering of the cooling of any of the current superpositions that we happen to know and hold dear to ourselves. Effectively, it's cheap, fast, efficient, effective, and works incredibly fast, because it can have error correcting thanks to those fields and light that surround it, for an ordering of its chaotic, heated state. That's right, it is the opposite. Instead of cooling it, I heat it up, and then I fire it in, and then I have it basically jumble its ass around for a while until it eventually goes into some fucking point in place. And until it does that, we don't know what it is, effectively. So, there's that. But, wait, what? Yeah, no. See, but it's not, though. I'd like to say that that's what that is, but that's not really. Let's get rid of the voice and the accent and the character bit that we're doing. Yeah, no, so it's a lot more complicated than that. To put it very bluntly and spectacularly easily, it's not that at all. But, nice try. We have to tunnel it in more than anything. We can't know the given state ahead of time that we do to fire it in. We don't know where it's fired in, we don't know when it's fired in, and we certainly don't know, of course, the depth at where it is within inside of this given space. We don't know the heat value, we don't know the loss value, we don't know any of this stuff. It's effectively going to be discovered after. That's right. As it then gets attached to a electrostatic, electromagnetic sensor, hits it, something like that, then it gains a given state value. Now, depending on the type of randomized tunnel effect that we're talking about here, the depth at where it tunnels into, and all the rest, that happens to change its state dramatically, and where it will ultimately come out as a sensor, which will also collapse the other three types of sensors that are there that I just talked about for light, electrostatic, and electromagnetic, which then creates a error-correcting qubit system transistor. Which, of course, is really nice for us, because, of course, it can be massively scaled and made to do it faster and faster and faster. And because it's always error corrected, and because we always know that we are going to fire it in based upon these given electrical signal inputs, and or electromagnetic signal inputs, or light-based, more like all of them, because that would be the right way to go about that, to get it done more quickly and more seemingly chaotically, right? Because, of course, we're talking about, we don't know all the different states of everything around us. We're going to use the very room's energy, temperature, and more. But it's like, it's going to be able to correct itself based upon, ultimately speaking, the given surrounding and input and all the rest of that. So that way it, while yes, is not necessarily super, super random, it is chaotically there. Chaotic. That's the superposition. See, it is chaotic. It's disordered, sure, that's the random, okay? But it is chaotic. Since it is chaotic, that means it's superpositional. All right. And until it happens to land, that's effectively where it's at. Any state that we can't know. That's how that works. Which means we now have a qubit system that works without pressure and heat. That needs to be incredibly cold and not at absolute zero or very near it. It sucks. Like how fucking bad that is. But think about it as if we were looking at, let's say, it was a gas or diesel engine. And then we swapped to, in fact, a direct contact burn. So engineering explained, as talked about this, for an engine type that sucks in, squeezes, it goes in, it mixes some fuel, it goes and squeezes in. It's now hot. It goes through this valve that's circular, right? And then it, of course, has to be pressurized through this tiny little slot that then causes it to compression, burn, and push into the cylinder as it goes down. So it ignites upon contact, which I was all like, why would you go that far? Why don't you just get like a fucking injector that does that? That seems like 2 extra fucking goddamn pistons for nothing. So then I proceeded to do that and multiple, like my rocket injector, just search rocket injector for like my YouTube video. That's basically what I'm doing. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's literally what that is. It's like, I put it into a chamber, I heat and pressurize, it goes up to compression, a little bit of air fuel, and then, I spark a little bit and it just goes bang, and I can continually inject both air and fuel into the chamber, which is a burn chamber, that then goes off into the rest of the damn fucking engine's combustion chamber. Because that's super simple to do. I was like, why has nobody done it? And it's like, well, these valves, they rotate. Yeah, okay, so what? We have sliding valves. Like, they're just 2 plates. It's literally what that is. They're able to, like, just hook in, and then they rotate off of each other using the axle and a gear on the outside. which that, of course, turns and spins the injector's continual mechanical pump, which can go both up and down as it spins, which creates consistent pressure that goes into an aerospike looking kind of pine cone overhang shape combustion chamber in the head. Fuel rail just goes across. Since something needs to spin anyways, that's an extra bit of increased degree of pumping. But, whatever, I guess, for what it's worth, because it seems kind of stupid. Because then it's just mechanical, and it'll just open up, and then it's closed, and then it'll open for the exhaust kind of thing. So, rocket injector, mechanical style. But apparently, it has a different name that Engineering Explained talked about for injectors. But I'm like, it's just a fucking hypergolic injector. It's just burning. Literally, that's all it's doing. It just gets hot enough, under enough heat and load of pressure, and it goes. What is this? It's not hard to do. We've done that for ages now with so many different jet engines, turbines, rockets, really. I don't see what the problem is. What is this? It cools itself off because, of course, there's fuel there and air. I don't really understand this. Shut up. I need to make it so you're... Anyways, you be quiet. Same thing, kind of thing for this, is what we're talking about for the rocket kind of injector. But now it's a tunnel system, or it doesn't tunnel, right? So it only needs to plug in certain variables as a stated degree of excitation for the given tunnel effect for the given programming. That makes it vastly low energy. So what that means is if it wants to tunnel and it wants to make light or some particles or whatever it is exist in that given area, then it's just like any other transistor where it basically makes a charge field, and then it has to have a band gap get made. And depending on the light, depending on, of course, the electromagnetic field and or electrostatic field and the electricity that you impart into it, you get a different type of calculation. But we're not really fully done yet, because great quantum tunnel, but it is able to change and be disordered with how it happens to go and do all of that, while also making it so that way it is chaotic when it enters, because of course it has energy, which is superpositional. That's the whole point. So think it comes in superpositional and then it becomes ordered. That's the quantum tunnel, disordered, chaotic, superpositional qubit transistor that can be 100% if and exclusive, blah, 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 all the things. And be error correcting with 3 different types of detectors. That's right, bitches. Suck it. That means you'll never have to worry about it again. And it's super cheap and easy to manufacture. Because, it'll basically just use silicon and some fucking light, fiber optics or stuff that we already have now, basically. So, super easy and cheap to manufacture. You can make billions of error-correcting qubits in a superpositional manner. That tunnel and more. Right now, lame Intel and Qualcomm and ARM, AMD. How come you didn't see this? Anyways, I'll put that first video I just did. I did the cooling video, and I made this one. So, suck my dick and balls, like and subscribe. Hit that fucking goddamn follow anywhere else, and also share if you want the bell, I guess. So do that.